State Farm knew it. The whole world knows it now. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player. She's a walking highlight reel, and not always the kind you expect.
Her dad's already on record saying, chill the hell out. Watch this. She goes,
Technical fouls in practice. Her own dad shouting her down from the stands and signing a baby at a charity event. A drive-thru worker freezing mid-order just to stare. This is the Caitlin Clark nobody puts in the stat sheet. In the next 30 minutes, you'll see her teammates lose it mid-game, her boyfriend getting roasted on camera, and moments so unfiltered even the press couldn't keep a straight face. The funniest, most real version of the WNBA's biggest star is right here. Stay with us because the best moments, we save those for last. She wins or she burns. Caitlin Clark doesn't have a casual mode. There's no in-between for her. It's either win or lose sleep over it. On the court, that fire made her the most watched women's basketball player in NCAA history.
Clark recently became the all-time leading scorer in Division I women's basketball history.
She broke Pete Maravich's all-time NCAA scoring record in February 2024, finishing her college career with 3,951 points. That kind of drive doesn't clock out when practice ends. It follows her everywhere, to the golf course, to carnival games, to the locker room, and yes, even to the stands where her own dad is sitting. Most athletes talk about being competitive. Clark just lives it. There's no switch she turns on before tip-off and turns off after the buzzer. It's always on. Her former Iowa teammates used to joke that you could feel it the moment she walked into the gym. The energy in the room shifted. Everyone got a little more focused because they knew if they didn't, she'd notice. And she'd say something. At a carnival game with Indiana Fever teammate Aaliyah Boston, Clark lost a simple water gun challenge. Not a championship, not a playoff game, a carnival water gun game. Her reaction? Pure fire. No sulking, and no laughing it off quietly, just that signature Clark stare that said everything. Boston didn't even celebrate too loud. She knew better. That's the thing about competing with Clark. Winning feels like surviving. Then came the golf clip with Lexi Hall. 1 inch. 1 inch from a hole-in-one. Clark came that close in her face when the ball didn't drop. Fans couldn't stop replaying it. She didn't need to say a word. That expression said it all. Golf is supposed to be a relaxing sport, not when Clark has a club in her hand. But the stories that really tell you who she is came straight from her own teammates. Her former Iowa teammates Kate Martin and Gabby Marshall revealed something that stopped people mid-scroll. Clark picks up technical fouls during practice, not real games. The managers who serve as refs at Iowa scrimmages know exactly what it's like to make a bad call when Clark is on the court. She argues every call. She debates the rules. Well, she repeats her point when she's asked to stop louder the second time. And her teammates, they're rolling on the floor laughing. Not because it's harmless, because it's so perfectly, completely her. Here's what makes it even funnier. She doesn't lose that fire in the locker room afterward. 5 minutes after going full throttle at a ref over a practice foul, she's cracking jokes and making everyone feel at ease. Hot Gabby Marshall once described it perfectly on the court. She's untouchable intensity. Off it, she's the funniest person in the building. Both are equally real. Neither is an act. Katie Lou Samuelson once proudly called herself the head of the Caitlin Clark Technical Foul Prevention Squad. That title wasn't a joke, it was a necessary role. Her job was to step in before Clark crossed the line with a ref, calm her down with a word or a look.
Down low, Gabby Williams finds Nafisa Collier just too easy.
And redirect that fire back into the game. She treated it like a serious responsibility. Because with Clark, one wrong call at the wrong moment and things escalate fast. Now with the Fever, Sophie Cunningham has stepped in to lead the same committee. New team, same job description. Someone has to keep her from going over the edge, and it's become a full-time role. Cunningham has been caught on camera doing exactly that, gently steering Clark away mid-argument, hand on her arm, whispering something to bring her back down. It works, on most of the time. And when that competitiveness spills into the stands, her dad, Brent Clark, had seen enough during one heated game. He leaned over from his seat and shouted at her to shut up. Not quietly. The crowd heard it. The cameras caught every second of it. It instantly went viral, and the comment sections were flooded with parents saying they completely understood him. because that's what that moment was. Not embarrassing, just real. A reminder that no matter how big the stage gets, and no matter how many records she breaks or jerseys get sold with her name on the back, she's still somebody's kid. And dads will always be dads. That's what makes Clark different from most athletes her level. The competitiveness isn't polished or packaged. It's raw. It spills out at carnival games and golf courses and practice sessions and press rows. And somehow that rawness is exactly what makes people love watching her, even when she's losing a water gun fight. The press room has no idea what's coming. Most athletes treat press conferences like homework. Show up, give the safe answer, leave. Clark treats them like a late-night talk show. She walks in serious, breaks down plays like a coach, drops some basketball IQ, and then, out of nowhere, she pivots. Nobody sees it coming. Not the reporters. Not her own teammates sitting next to her. Not even the cameras that are supposed to be ready for everything.
Clark sees three bodies and finds Samuelson for the open three.
The thing is, she always starts straight, and that's what makes it work. She'll spend 2 full minutes breaking down a third-quarter defensive rotation with the detail of someone who watches film for a living. Reporters are nodding, scribbling notes, completely locked in. And right when everyone is settled into serious mode, she pulls the rug out. Not with a build-up, not with a, okay, here's something funny. She just says it, flat, calm, like it belongs there. During one press conference, mid-sentence between discussing defensive rotations, she asked the room, "Why don't cheetahs take tests at the zoo?" Beat, silence. Because there are too many cheetahs. The delivery was so flat, so casual, that it took reporters a full second to even process what just happened. Then the room exploded. She didn't smile wide or look around for approval. She just waited for the laughter to settle and went straight back to basketball talk. No transition, no acknowledgement that anything unusual had just happened. That's the thing about Clark, she doesn't announce the funny part. It just lands. There's no performance before the punchline, no telegraphing. She treats humor the same way she treats a no-look pass. By the time you realize it's coming, it's already gone. When a reporter once pointed out her arms and called them swole, Clark didn't hesitate for a single second. She fired back immediately with a look that said more than any full sentence could. The press room lost it. No pause. No awkward smile. No polite laugh to fill the silence, just effortless. Sharp. Done. Reporters who've covered professional sports for decades said afterward they genuinely weren't ready for it. These are the moments that reporters now show up early for. They block the time on their calendar. They make sure their recorder is running before she even sits down, because everyone in that room knows you might get the safe, analytical answer for the first 3 questions. But at some point, the real Clark shows up, and when she does, you want to catch every word. Her former Iowa coach, Lisa Bluter, once compared her comedy instincts directly to a stand-up comedian. Not in a vague, complimentary way, she said it specifically, because Clark's timing is that precise. Stand-up comedy is almost entirely about timing. The words matter less than when they land. Clark understands that without ever having studied it. She just feels where the pause goes. She knows exactly how long to let silence sit before the line hits. That instinct showed up on the biggest stage when she appeared at the ESPYs. She didn't just show up and smile for cameras, she delivered jokes she wrote herself. Sharp enough to make the host react. Sharp enough to make the audience genuinely gasp before laughing. For most athletes, the ESPYs is a red carpet moment. For Clark, it was a set, and she closed it cleanly. Nobody in that room was surprised, because anyone who had watched her in press conferences over the past few years already knew. She had been workshopping this material for years in front of sports reporters, a crowd that is professionally trained not to laugh at anything. If you can crack them up, you can crack up anyone. Lexi Hull once had a breakout defensive performance, and during the post-game press conference, Hull was mid-answer to a reporter's question when Clark leaned into the microphone and casually announced she was changing her entire social media bio to a Lexi Hull fan page. Just like that. No warning. Hull completely lost it and couldn't finish her sentence. The reporters laughed. Clark leaned back, folded her arms, and sat there stone-faced, completely satisfied with the timing. completely unbothered by the chaos she just caused. That's the full picture of what happens when Caitlin Clark sits down in front of a microphone. You get the basketball, you get the analysis, and at some point, without any warning at all, you get the show. The locker room is her stage. Before Clark arrived in Indianapolis, the Fever had missed the playoffs in each of the previous 2 seasons. Attendance was down, energy was flat. The franchise was searching for something, a spark, a reason for people to pay attention again. In 2024, not only did they make the playoffs, they posted more wins than in the 2 prior years combined. The numbers changed, but so did the vibe, and anyone who spent time around that team will tell you the vibe changed first. Winning cultures aren't built in film rooms alone. They're built in the small moments, the bus rides, the hotel lobbies, the quiet hours between shoot-around and tip-off when nobody's watching. That's where team chemistry either grows or dies. And that's exactly where Clark does some of her best work.
That's more than 128 teams. There's almost 350 Division I teams. She makes more threes per game on average than...
Erica Wheeler, one of the veterans on the roster, said it plainly, "All we do is have fun with Caitlin Clark." That wasn't a quote pulled for a promo video. That was just an honest description of daily life inside the Fever locker room. Wheeler has been in professional basketball long enough to know what a tight locker room feels like and what a broken one feels like. She wasn't being polite. She was being accurate. What Clark brought wasn't just talent, it was permission. Permission for the locker room to breathe, to laugh, to not treat every single moment like the weight of the world was on it. When your best player is also the one making everyone lose it at breakfast, the whole atmosphere shifts. Pressure becomes something you carry together instead of something that sits on each person alone. When Lexi Hull turned 25, the team had just wrapped up practice. Most players were tired, ready to head out. Oh, Clark had other plans. She didn't just start singing, she took over the entire moment, rallied the whole team, got everyone in full voice, built the energy up like she was conducting something, and then, right in the middle of it, she picked Hull completely off the ground mid-celebration. Hull had no warning. The team erupted. It was spontaneous, it was warm, and it was exactly the kind of unplanned moment that makes a group of professional athletes feel less like co-workers and more like family. Nobody choreographed that. Clark just felt the moment and went all in. That's a pattern with her. She doesn't plan the funny moments, she just responds to whatever's in front of her with full commitment. During a team outing, someone casually suggested playing mermaids in the pool. Most people would smile and let the idea die quietly. Clark jumped in. Literally. The clip spread across social media within hours, not because it was shocking, but because it was so completely, genuinely her. Sidran, no hesitation. No, wait, should I? Just in. Hull was there, laughing so hard she could barely stay above water. The comment sections were full of people saying the same thing. This doesn't look like a PR moment. It looks like a Tuesday. That's the whole point. Nothing with Clark ever feels staged. In a world where athletes are carefully managed and every public moment is run through a filter, she somehow moves through it all like none of that machinery exists. The mermaid clip wasn't approved by an agent. The birthday moment wasn't planned by a social media team. It's just her. During a Fever team photo shoot, her teammates iced her mid-pose. Not after, not before, right in the middle of it. Clark's face went through about 4 emotions in 2 seconds. Confusion, disbelief, surrender, then full laughter. She looked directly at the camera, completely defeated, and said, "Sorry, I'm sweating," as if that was the most important thing to address in that moment. It was the most human thing you'll see from any professional athlete all year. No composure, no spin, just a person caught off guard and laughing about it. But the story that teammates keep coming back to, the one that somehow keeps getting funnier every time it's told, happened during a pregame preparation session. Head coach Christy Sides turned on loud music to simulate the noise of a packed arena. It's a standard drill. Players are supposed to tune it out, stay focused, get used to performing under that kind of pressure. Clark lasted about 30 seconds before she turned to Sides, completely serious, and told her to turn it off. The music was giving her a migraine. The room went quiet for a moment. Sides turned and asked her to repeat herself. Clark did same tone, same volume, no backing down. The entire team collapsed. Because here's the thing, anyone else would have swallowed it. When you don't tell your head coach to turn off her own drill, you certainly don't repeat it when she gives you the look. Clark didn't even flinch. She just said it again like it was the most reasonable request in the world. A drive-thru, a maybe, and the internet lost it. It was a regular afternoon in Indianapolis. No game that night, no media obligation, just Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hall, two teammates looking for something cold to drink on a warm day.
We're at Bazaar Meat in Las Vegas, and we're gonna do a food review for everything we got. Okay.
They pulled into Swig, a popular drink chain that had been getting buzz around the city, placed their order at the speaker, and rolled up to the window like any two people would. Nothing about it was supposed to be a moment. That's exactly why it became one. The employee at the window looked up to hand over the drinks, then stopped. Stared. The kind of stare where your brain is processing something it wasn't prepared for. She squinted slightly, leaned forward just a little, went in and asked the question slowly. "Why are you Caitlin Clark?" The car went quiet for half a second. Clark turned, looked at her with a completely straight face, let the silence stretch just long enough and said, "Maybe." One word. That's all it took. Hull lost it instantly. Full laughter, no holding back, reaching for her phone because she already knew this needed to be on video. And the employee behind the window looked like she'd just seen something she was going to describe to people for the next 10 years. She was shaking slightly when she reached back and offered Clark a golden mug, their version of a loyalty reward, meaning free drinks every time she came through. Clark accepted it with the same calm energy she'd had the entire time. Hull posted the clip. Within hours, it had thousands of views. By the next morning, it was everywhere: sports pages, fan accounts, most general entertainment feeds. People who had never watched a single WNBA game were sharing it. The comments were full of the same reaction. "She's so cool without even trying." That's the part that got people. There was no performance in it, no playing to the camera. She didn't know Hull was filming when she said it. She was just being herself, and that one word delivered with that timing was funnier than most things that are actually written to be funny. After they drove off, Clark tried the Raspberry Dream drink for the first time. She took one sip and immediately declared it her new favorite drink. Hull pointed out she had never been there before. Clark didn't care. "It's in its own category," she said, completely serious, then gave Swig a full 10 out of 10. No qualifications. No, well, considering I've never been here before, just a flat 10. The clip of that review got almost as much attention as the maybe moment, because it's so her. Decisive, confident, and slightly ridiculous in the best possible way. That's the thing about Clark away from the court. She's not managing an image. There's no version of herself she's trying to protect or present. She moves through ordinary moments, drive-thrus, team outings, fan interactions, the same way she moves through everything else. Fully present, completely unfiltered, and somehow always funnier than the situation calls for. The charity golf tournament was the same energy on a bigger scale, where she and Hull showed up, traded basketballs for clubs, and within minutes had completely transformed what was supposed to be a quiet fundraiser. Midway through an autograph session, someone in the crowd handed Clark a baby. Not a jersey, not a poster. A baby in a onesie to sign. Clark looked at it for exactly 1 second, took the marker, and signed the onesie without any fuss. The crowd erupted. She laughed about it, handed the baby back, and kept moving down the line. Then, and almost as an afterthought, she mentioned she had once signed an ultrasound, an actual ultrasound photo. The baby wasn't even born yet. Someone had brought a prenatal scan to a Caitlin Clark appearance and asked her to sign it, and she did. She told the story the way most people would mention stopping for coffee. Completely casual. Zero awareness of how funny it was. Roasting family is a full-time job. Caitlin Clark grew up playing against her brothers, not with them against them. She credits those early games for the fighter she became, but she also credits them for the concussions she gave out. Her words, "I gave him a few concussions and staples in the head. Sorry, Mom." She said it at a public event, completely calm, like she was reading off a grocery list. The audience lost it. Her mom's face? Priceless. Then there's Connor McCaffrey, her boyfriend and fellow Iowa athlete. And Clark has made it clear in multiple interviews that their shooting competitions get a little heated. She also made it equally clear that she wins. A lot, more than he does. Way more. He tries to think otherwise, she said.
Yeah, I'm super excited for him. Obviously, his basketball knowledge is pretty good, and it makes it fun. Like, you can bounce ideas off of each other. So,
With the kind of smile that means the conversation is already over. In another clip, Connor mentions she talks about sleeping for 3 weeks straight after the season. Her response, she also talks about sleeping for 3 weeks straight during the season. I love sleeping. It's awesome. Delivered with zero shame. And when she was asked to do a State Farm jingle on camera, she flatly refused. No build-up, no apology, just no. The crew was ready. She was not interested. The clip became funnier for it. The best part of all of it is that nobody close to Clark is safe. Brothers, boyfriend, coaches, teammates, she treats everyone equally when it comes to comedy. And somehow, everyone loves her more for it. And when she and Hull surprised fans at a Jordan Davis concert in Indianapolis, they didn't sit in the crowd. They ended up on stage, singing along, dancing, soaking in every second of it. 2 professional athletes, cameras in their faces, acting like nobody was watching. That's just Clark. That's always been Clark. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the Indiana Fever's win column. She changed the overall perception of that franchise. She broke records most players never get close to. And she made the WNBA must-watch television. But more than any of that, she made it fun. Real, unfiltered, laugh-out-loud fun. The kind of person who argues with refs in practice, signs babies at charity events, and answers maybe when someone recognizes her at a drive-thru that's not a character. That's just who she is, and that's exactly why the world can't stop watching. If you enjoyed this one, drop a comment below with your favorite moment from today's video. Turn on notifications because we're just getting started.